Well, the D100x140 S3 Navigator horizontal directional drill is definitely one of Vermeer's flagship machines. It's been in our lineup for several years and continues to be one of our most popular machines in the large drill class.
Hello everyone, Mike Kezdi, Managing Editor of Trenchless Technology Magazine, here with another Trenchless Technology Videocast. Today's episode, sponsored by Vermeer, is a chat with Marv Klein, Application Specialist at Vermeer. We discuss the versatile D100x140 Navigator S3 Horizontal Directional Drill, a drill that bridges the gap between utility and pipeline and large diameter projects. Marv and I also discuss the Vermeer R250C Reclaimer, which is a great accompaniment to the D100x140. With that, let's get on with our conversation.
Great. Welcome, Marv. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your role at Vermeer?
Yeah, my name is Marv Klein. I've been with Vermeer just a little over 25 years, primarily working in the trenchless side of the business. My current title is Application Specialist within the Pipeline Division. Through my 25 years here at Vermeer, I have always worked along with the horizontal directional drill and the Trenchless Technology products. And as I said today, I'm actively currently working as an application specialist within the pipeline group.
Great, thanks. Vermeer is known for its wide range of equipment, especially when it comes to the HDD market. You have this large offering of drill sizes that can be used for a variety of applications. Why don't we talk a little bit about the D100x140 S3? What makes this drill unique in the overall Vermeer lineup?
Well, the D100x140 S3 Navigator horizontal directional drill is definitely one of Vermeer's flagship machines. It's been in our lineup for several years and continues to be one of our most popular machines in the large drill class. And a lot of that results to the versatility of the machine itself and what it can do. When you look at it overall from a footprint standpoint and the power that the machine has capable of producing, it really makes it a real attractive machine for a lot of contractors working in a lot of different markets. Because of the versatility, because of the self-contained design, the machine, it's the 100x140 S3 Navigator, is working in a lot of different markets, from power to telecom to municipal to oil and gas. And it has a lot to do with the fact that it's a small power to footprint machine.
I see. So when a contractor is evaluating their equipment needs for a job, what kind of things are they taking into consideration? How are they deciding what kind of equipment works best for the job and has the most efficiency?
Well, first of all, they have to understand the scope of the project. I mean, that's ultimately going to determine what size drill rig is going to be used for that job. You've got to have the machine that is capable of putting out the rotational torque and has enough pullback forces to install the product that's going to be installed. So when you look at the 100x140, I mentioned earlier that the power to footprint ratio, the machine has substantially high torque for such a small drill. And that's what really makes it, attractive for a lot of contractors and using it in a lot of different projects, where they typically may want to bring in a bigger rig to get the job done maybe a little quicker. But, when they're looking at that job and evaluating what is the right choice of what equipment to use, there's other things that factor into that, and it's right-of-way space. Maybe they don't physically have the room, the space to bring in a larger rig. So maybe a footprint such as the 100x140 offers is a better choice. So when you look at it from right-of-way space, the scope of the project, those are the things obviously that they're going to look at. Another thing could be cost of operation. When you look at a 100x140 size drill versus some bigger drill rigs, the support team that it takes to support that rig on the job is a lot less. So that obviously adds to cost of the overall project. So those are things that they're going to look at and evaluate.
Great. You talked a lot about the footprint of the drill. So in terms of logistics, how does the setup of the D100x140 compare to larger drills? What are some of the advantages that it offers in that regard?
Well, I mentioned earlier that the D100x140 is what we consider a self-contained drill, meaning that it has the onboard high-pressure mud pump, it has the onboard driller's cabin, it has the onboard rod box, which houses several different pieces of drill string. So when you compare that to some bigger drill rigs, where everything is more of a modular setup, the logistics of mobilization and moving that machine and setting that equipment up on the job is a lot more less time and consuming than it is with a larger drill rig.
Great. One of the big things, especially when you get into some of the larger drilling work, is transporting the equipment, and that could be a logistical challenge, right? Yeah. So how does the design of the D100x140 contribute to easier transportation to the job site?
Well, again, it goes back to it being a self-contained drill and a lighter weight machine than the bigger drill rigs. Once you get into the larger class drills above the 100x140, most of those units are going to be modular, meaning that the drill cab could potentially be separate. They're potentially not going to have an onboard high-pressure mud pump. They're going to have a separate front foot or mounting base anchor that's going to be detached every time you have to mob that machine to and from the job. So when you look at it from a mobilization cost and time, and then the number of loads that it's going to take to transport that equipment to the job versus the D100, it's 3 loads versus 1 load. And also the 100x140 in a lot of cases doesn't require special permitting. When you look at the weight versus compared to a larger drill rig, that larger drill rig is going to push you into that next weight class, which is most of the time always going to require a special permit to haul that heavy load. And in a lot of cases, you won't have that on the 100x140.
Right. Going on to the fluid management aspect of the job, could you tell our viewers a little bit about the R250C model and how it's designed to complement the D100x140 drill?
Yeah, sticking along kind of the same thought process as the design when we designed the 100x140 is small footprint. When you look at the R250C, it's a fairly small, compact reclaiming system. And, so when we think about, working in tight right-of-way spaces or limited space to set your equipment up, it's key and very important element to have a small footprint. And the R250C offers that. It's a single trailer tow-away load that can be pulled into the job and hooked into the D100x140 and act as a support system for that drill. As far as the capabilities of that R250C, it was designed specifically to work and match up to what the capabilities of the drill 100x140 drill has as far as volume and mud pump output. So it's a real good match in that regards and a very good support unit for the 100x140 drill.
Yeah, excellent. Earlier you had mentioned the users for the D100x140. And these maxi rigs we're talking about. Are you seeing more contractors stick within the oil and gas industry using them, or are they branching out to other sectors?
No, it's pretty common. We're starting to see a lot more and more contractors trying to diversify their business and their companies to try to branch out into other markets. And obviously, as I mentioned earlier, the 100x140, because of the power that it has in a small footprint, it's a very good choice for a selection to work in a lot of different markets, such as telecom, municipality work, because a lot of those projects are set in a real tight environment, and having a small overall footprint, both on the with the drill, the reclaimer, and the overall setup of the project, the job itself is important. So we definitely see this machine being utilized in a lot of different areas and types of work. Some examples of that was a contractor that we know was faced with challenges of installing electrical transmission conduit projects. But one of the issues that he was dealing with was he had to have the machine off the right-of-way every night because it was along a thorough highway road that was very active and busy. So one of the requirements of that job was that the machinery had to be removed every evening from the job. So when you think about the logistics involved with that, if you had a modular setup where you have multiple pieces of equipment versus the 100 by 140 and the R250C, it's a lot simpler task to remove that machine every day, bring it in the next morning and set it back up. Another nice thing about the 100 by 140 that is a big advantage over some of the other bigger drills is that it carries its own rod box on the machine, meaning that it houses like 180 feet of drill pipe on the machine. So once that machine is set up on the job, the operator of the drill has full control of loading and unloading the drill pipe. Where your bigger drill rigs, those rods are loaded individually one at a time with an auxiliary hoist or lifting device. So the efficiency of the operation is a lot more efficient with the 100 by 140 than it is on some of your larger drills as well. So,
I guess in closing, Marv, how can people find out more about the D100 by 140 and the R250C that we spoke about here today?
Yeah, there are several different options. Obviously, you can always reach out to one of your local Vermeer dealers, or you can also get online and search the Vermeer website at vermeer.com. All that product information is available online there at the Vermeer website.
Excellent. Well, I appreciate you sitting down with us today for this brief chat about the D100 by 140. I really appreciate it. And thank you to Vermeer.
You're welcome. Thank you for your time.
Thank you again to Marv Klein and the fine folks at Vermeer for sponsoring episode 5 of the Trenchless Technology Videocast. And thank you to all of our viewers. To stay up to date with Trenchless Technology on YouTube, be sure you like and subscribe and hit that bell icon to get notified when the next video drops. Cheers, everybody.